I've done it for me. Today's theme is about less is more, and very often when you say less is more, it connects into the ego, because we're all quite competitive and we think that doing more that's just part of our society. But actually you derive more benefit, particularly in yoga sometimes, if you do less. And to that end, this particular class today is Tibetan heart yoga, and the heart very much connects to the ego, as well as compassion and love. It connects to the ego. And if you are too aggressive in your exercise, you can burn out, and particularly athletes where they can get repetitive injury, or they haven't quite aligned properly, or something that they're born with, will often find them getting a lot of injuries at a particular stage, which is why they retire. But in my naive yoga view, I don't feel that that's necessarily the case. I think you should be able to carry on in a gentle form right up until, animals in the wild keep moving right up until they're no longer here. So there really isn't any reason why we shouldn't be able to do that. So this goes through a journey through the chakras. The chakras are energy centers aligned on the inside of the spine. There are more than just the 7 major ones, and they connect into energy points where through the connective tissue, where all the electricity, the nerve go. Those little points are called nadis. We've got thousands of them in the body. So we're going to be working from the base up to the top, just starting by lifting and rolling the shoulders, breathing in, turning the head to the left, breathing out, turning the head to the right. Come to the centre, dip the chin into the chest, come to the head to the centre, and with caution and awareness, slightly lift the chin and look up. Come to the centre. Lift and roll the shoulders. And step with your feet hip width apart, bringing the hands to the centre, the heart centre. Just press the palms together, connecting to, what's this, Charlotte, this bit here?
Triceps.
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 The baggy bits. The bits. If you press your hands together, that to some way kind of tones that. And then turning to the right, almost a star upwards, looking to the right hand. Come to the centre with your hands lightly together, and turn to the left. You can lift your right heel as you look up to the left, starring in the other side. Come to the centre, starring one way. Come to the centre. So on the heart theme, this is opening you at the heart, because you're stretching, and then just lift and roll the shoulders. Raise the right hand, stretch it up, turn your head to the left, take an in and an out breath. Come with your head back to the centre, and breathing out, lower the right arm. Breathing in, raise the left arm, stretching up. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. Take an in and an out breath. Come to the centre, and breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. Just bring the hands to underneath the collarbone, the clavicle, and just do that tapping on the K27, which is more to that join inside here, connecting to our energy and our vitality. And then if we want to look really silly, just gently tap on the top of the head. It's hard to carry stress when your head is being tapped, because your mind distracts to the vibration. Just lower your hands, and you'll just feel that vibration carrying on. So breathing in, just thumbs together and just sway from side to side. Your lateral stretch, just opening up and come to the centre and then lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then coming to the top of our mats, I put a blanket there for you, Annie, because I know that kneeling's not great for you.
Yeah.
If you can't kneel, I'll try and talk you through it, but don't kneel if it's causing you an issue. Just checking in with anybody else on kneeling. Are you all right? You're okay. So coming to the top. Hi, Carol. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, stretching up. Bring the hands through the centre. Bend the knees. Hands either side of you. And step back with your right foot. Right knee on the ground. And then left knee on the ground. Is that really too much for you? Just cat-cow by dipping the back, or cow-cat, and rounding chin to chest. Inhale, dipping, and rounding. And bring the bottom towards the heels. You don't have to totally bring the bottom to the heel. Just stretching out. Taking an in and an out breath. Take the right arm, slide it under the left, palm upwards, and come to rest your head on the ground. Your left hand can walk forward or just stay where it is. You're stretching out the right upper shoulder. Take an in and an out breath. Come back to kneeling, and then take the left hand, palm up, slide it through behind the right hand, head on the ground. You're just stretching out the left shoulder, left side of the neck almost. And then come back to tabletop. So I know that we've got no downward dog fans here. So either coming into downward dog by tucking the toes and coming to a soft dog, or just do another cat-cow for those of you who are dog fans. If you're up and downward dog, just walk the dog. Both feet back, the heels don't have to touch the ground. Bring the knees to the ground, hands to the left, step up with the right foot, hands either side of the right foot. And then if that's available to you, to kneel up. If that's not, just be comfortable. Open the hands upwards and look slightly up. Bring the head forward. Hands either side of the right foot. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, and step the left foot to the right foot. Hands on the shins, half lift. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And raise the arms up, looking forward or up. Your choice, stretch your fingers. Lower the hands. Inhale, exhale. This time roll the shoulders back. Clasp the hands behind the back and aim the knuckles to the ground. Opening at the shoulder level. Separate the hands. Slide the hands down the backs of the legs to the ground. Step back with the left foot, left knee on the ground. Right foot, right knee on the ground. Your classic cat cow, dipping the back, looking either up or along ground, breathing out round. Dipping the back, and then rounding. Bring the bottom towards the heels, and walk the left hand to the right, stretching. Left hand goes on top of the right palm, stretching to the right. Take an in and an out breath. Walk the hands to the centre and walk the right hand, placing the right hand over the top of the left hand, in and out. And then come to kneeling. Tabletop. Your choice whether you want to do a downward dog, if not, just stay to cat-cow. Your soft downward dog, bending the knees, perhaps walking the dog, one knee and then the other. Both heels back. Take an in and an out breath. Both knees to the ground. Hands to the right. Left foot up, hands either side of the left foot. Kneel up. Open the palms. Looking forward or up. Hands either side of the left foot. Tuck the right toes. Lift the right knee and step the right foot to the left foot. Hands on the shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften the knees, soften the elbows. Breathing in, half lift again. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. Raising the arms up, clasp and reverse. Turn to the left, bouncing in and out. Come to the centre and turn to the right, bouncing in and out. Come to the centre, stretching up. Test balance by lifting the heels. You're all better than me because I've lost it totally. And then lower the heels, lower the hands. And come to seated with your legs out in front of you. And just bounce your legs and rub the legs, pat them. And then just lightly touch the hands to the ground. Circle the ankles in one direction and circle the ankles in the other direction. So you'll notice you've got a bolster and a strap. So I'm going to invite you to just open the legs into a slight V. Bend up the right knee and rest the right leg on the right thigh on the bolster. Have I not got you? Sorry, Carol.
There's one here. There's one here.
Is there? There's one here.
There's one here.
Thank you.
There's one right here.
I knew I'd counted. I thought I'd counted. So the left leg is out to the side and the right leg is up, just supported under the thigh. Take your strap, just turn slightly towards the left leg and place your strap around the sole of your foot. Just breathing in, sit up, and breathing out, just come forward, but keep the tension in your strap. So you might not go forward very much. If you prefer now not to have the strap, you can just release the strap and place your hands on the shins. But if you like the feel of the strap, then do take the strap. Janusza Asana, head to knee pose. Calming for the nervous system and opening at the lower groin into the lower lymphatic system, boosting immunity. And then tummy in. Use the strap if you have got it there handily to support you as you come up. Release the strap and place the right hand behind you. Left hand goes up to the ceiling and just looking up to your left thumb. And then lower the left hand. Just take the strap, hug your right knee into the chest and stretch out your right leg. Take your support to bring it to the left side. Just bounce your knees again and circle the ankles a couple of times in each direction. Stretch out your toes. And then bending in your left knee, opening the left knee to the left, and take support wherever you feel you might like it. Extending the right heel, and just place the strap underneath your right foot. Turn your body towards the right leg, and then just very gently walk very slightly forward. The same Janusza Asana pose on the right side. And then tummy in, lower abdominal muscles in. Use the support to bring you upright. And then just move your bolster for the moment to the side. We will be reusing it and bring the soles of the feet together in Asana. I don't know if Sue has a thought for the day.
Lower lymphatic system, as we were stretching out there, is around your ankle bones. So you can just move in a sort of circle, pushing your thumbs in around your ankle bone. That we can do it on both sides, and you can go both ways round. So you can see. So that's the reflex point for your lower lymphatic system. So you go around the ankle bone. So you can do it on both. I mean, it's on the outside of your ankles as well. Obviously, sitting like this is a bit difficult to get to them, so it's easier just to do. Yeah, so that's the reflex point. So that helps stimulate your lymphatic system. So when you get puffy ankles and stuff, it ties in with your lymphatic system not working too well.
Or being strained.
Or being strained or stressed, or you can get that if you're dehydrated or whatever. So it's quite a good exercise to do just to see how they're feeling. It's quite nice and relaxing as well. So just gently all around the ankle bones each way.
And we're working and looking at the lower chakra, the Muladhara chakra, which is at the very base of the tailbone, almost slightly beyond the base of the tailbone. And we're going to move now to the next chakra, which is the lower abdominal level. Its exact location, it varies. It's somewhere between the tailbone and the navel, so that midway point. And just supporting the legs underneath. Have your bolster handy, because you are going to need that. Hugging the knees into the chest, sitting upright. Just doing that action encourages you to activate the lower abdominal muscles, sitting up straight. And then we're going to lie down. Take your bolster to the, I'm just trying to think now, to the right. Hug one knee and then the other knee in. So both knees are hugging in. Ooh. Right. And just rock gently from side to side. Keeping hold of the left knee, hugging that in, extend your right leg along the floor. And just enjoy hugging the left knee in and circling the left knee a couple of times in one direction. Bless you. And a couple of times in the other direction. And then hugging the left knee into the chest, roll the entire body to the right. You might use your left elbow to support you. And your left knee or left thigh rests on your bolster. So it acts as a support. Your right hand rests somewhere on the outside of the left thigh. And your left hand either rests on the left waist, or if you particularly want to stretch under the left arm, raise the left arm, bend at the elbow and gradually straighten out the left arm according to the space that you may or may not have above you. Otherwise, just keep the left hand on the left waist. So this is a lying or supine rotation. Your head looks either up at the ceiling or slightly to the left, and the eyes can be open, or the invitation is to gently close them. Yoga in prisons, which as I know is a random thought, they often cannot close their eyes because they're so wired for danger and alert, and people can find it very distressing to be invited to close their eyes in a yoga class. There are all kinds of different rules and different psychological aspects that come into teaching yoga, which I did a training for that in prisons. I went to Sen prison as a visitor, as a yoga visitor, which was interesting. And then rolling onto your back. Hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest again. You might like to place your feet on the floor just to even you up. And taking your bolster to the left side now. Just hugging the knees into the chest. And then extending the left leg along the ground. And keeping hold of the right knee, just circle the right knee in one direction. And then circle the right knee in the other direction. And then holding the right knee in, you might like to use your right elbow to support you to roll your whole body, lifting the hip Carol, to the left. And your bolster will support your inner right knee, your right thigh, placing your right hand on the waist, or you can raise your right arm above you, elbow bent, and gradually stretch out if that's appropriate, according to either space or how you feel under the right arm. Your left hand is holding somewhere along your right thigh, and your head is looking either upwards or very slightly to the right. So a reminder that the purpose of a rotation is to rebalance the muscles along the spine, just gently stretching them out, and particularly on the ground, your body's being supported. So any kind of rotation is very gentle. And then rolling onto your back again and hugging both knees into the chest. And again, have your strap handy. Hug both knees into the chest. This is an upside down forward bend, strangely enough. If you think of a forward bend, this kind of mimics it. Put the strap under both feet and very gently extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Your legs don't have to be straight. Just holding the strap will just support the legs and support, in a strange way, your lower back. And just very gently with your legs up, you might want to stay still, or you might just very gently want to sway fractionally from side to side, like a piece of seaweed, just moving with the natural rhythm in the sea, just swaying slightly, but as I said, you may prefer to keep to a static, legs up. Just check that your chin is kind of parallel to your chest and the back of the neck is long. Taking it in and an out breath. And then very gently bending both knees into the chest, you can let go of your strap. Hugging the knees into the chest, just rock once more from side to side. And then supporting the knees underneath to bring both feet to the ground, feet are hip width apart. And hands might like this time to rest either on the abdomen or palms down on the floor as you sway both knees slightly from side to side, and you can lift your hip off the floor in like a swaying windscreen wiper movement. Massaging across the upper, top of the bottom basically, and that very satisfying point at the top of the bottom, if you get to it when you roll from side to side, is called the GB30, I think I looked up last week, which is the Gallbladder Meridian. And even for anybody who hasn't got their gallbladder, the meridian energetic pathways are still very much in existence. Then just very, very gently hug the knees into the chest once more. Rock from side to side. And then hug both knees into the chest. Still holding the knees, let them drift away to arm's length. Hug both knees into the chest. Let them drift away. And again, a couple of times to your own breath pattern. And then very gently supporting the legs under the thighs, let the feet come to the ground. And we're going to come effectively to sitting, so you may like to roll to the side to come up. If you're particularly energetic, you can hug the knees in and rock up, but come up to seated, however you want to. And having your legs out in front of you once more. For this, you have an option to have your strap. Just coming to bring the flesh out from under your bottom. And hands either side of you. Cross your, doesn't really matter, cross your left leg over your right, so that the ankles cross. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left thigh. left hand behind you. Breathing in, lengthen the body, and breathing out, turn to look over your left shoulder. So the emphasis is that the head is the last thing to turn. Again, in our culture, quite often, people can lead with the head in anxiety or facing life's challenges. So often the head will be the first thing that they turn. But here it's the last. And just take a couple of in and out breaths. Come back to the centre, uncross your left ankle, and just bring the strap over both feet. Breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, just slightly bend forward. This is a compensation. If you find that your legs stretched out around the floor is not great for you, you can always keep a slight bend in your knees. There is an advantage to having your legs straight, but it's not great for everyone. And taking a couple of breaths in and out. Breathing in, use the support of the strap to support your back as you're coming up. Release for the moment your strap. Hands either side of you, and your right ankle, that is the right way around, isn't it? Crosses over your left. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, turn to the right. Your left hand goes to the outside of the right thigh. Breathing in, lengthen the body. Breathing out, turn. Again, the head is the last thing to turn. The turn, because this is at the navel, comes really from the navel centre. And then gently turn back to the centre. Support your leg as you take one leg off the other. And again, take your strap around the soles of the feet. Breathing in, lengthening the body, tummy in. Breathing out, lengthening from the base of the spine to the top of the head. You don't have to come very far forward. Just lengthening forward. You can use both hands or you can just use one hand, depending on your preference. Calming for the nervous system. And then just release the strap and come back to lying on the mats. This is something that you don't get so much in normal yoga sequences, but it's very much in this practice. So knees bent, feet are hip width apart. And we're at the navel still, so we're looking at the core and abdominal control. So hands palms down alongside you. Bend the left knee into the chest. Stretch the left leg up to the ceiling. Extend the left heel. Lower the left leg almost to the floor. Bend the left leg into the chest. And then place the left foot onto the ground. You'll feel that will be working your core. It is a modification. Focus on the right leg as you bend the right knee into the chest. Extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Extend the right heel. Lower the right leg. You can either have the heel extended or point the right toe almost to the ground. And then before you touch the ground, bend the right leg in once more towards the chest and place the right foot on the floor. Take an in and an out breath. And just a pelvic tilt where you flatten the back to the floor and then just release. And again, bend the left knee in towards the chest. Extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Extend the left heel. Either lead with the left heel extended or point your left toes to lower the left leg down to the ground. And before it touches the ground, bend the left knee once more into the chest and lower the left leg foot back down onto the floor. And again, bend the right knee into the chest. Extend the right foot up to the ceiling and extend the right heel. Leading either with the right heel or pointing the right toes, your choice, lower the right leg towards the floor, and before it finally touches the floor, bend the right knee into the chest and lower the right foot to the floor. Just a pelvic tilt again, flattening the back as if you're going to lift your bottom off the floor, and then releasing so that there's a little gap under the lower back. And then just relax the back in a neutral position and just gently sway the knees from side to side. A little bit or a lot, depending on how you feel. And then we're just going to take the hands and place them on the abdomen. Elbows are out slightly. It's a breathwork sequence. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice the abdomen rising slightly. And then slide the hands to the ribs, the lower ribs, but anywhere on the ribs where your hands comfortably go. And your elbows are open slightly wider, giving more space for the lungs, and feel almost that you're breathing into the ribs. You're also stretching out at the heart here, at the chest. So again, you're giving space for the heart. And in this context, we're looking very much at letting go of the ego, using support. Less is more. And then just very gently place the hands above the chest. Your elbows might come in a little bit more. And in your mind, imagine that the breath is travelling up to the chest, to your hands. And then very gently lower the hands and once more hug the knees into the chest, chin to chest. Just hug the knees into the chest and just gently rock from side to side. We're going to come, however that works for you, to a seated position with both legs out. So you can classically roll to the side, or you can rock up. Again, you choose. And have your legs out to the side. So you move now from the navel to the heart centre. And the heart centre is given a lot of prominence in yoga. In Leonardo's picture, you've got is it the circle and the triangle, whatever it is, the heart gets both, so you get a double amount of focus on the heart. And it's been reclassified in 1983 as a gland, or 1993 as a gland. Dopamine levels.
It's definitely got sort of endocrine. You've got atrionatriuretic peptide and sort of things that get secreted in the heart, but identified in the last, 20 years. 25 years.
Okay. So for that reason, so this first one, we're going to do a modification. So hug your right knee into your chest. And keeping it sometimes easier to have the right foot out slightly to the right. Play with this. Hold your right knee with your left hand. Your tummy should be in and your left heel should be extended. Right hand goes behind you and you just turn to look to the right. So this should feel like it turns slightly higher up at the heart level. I don't know if that does. A slightly higher turn.
Yeah, it feels different.
So the very first turn we did was lying on the floor, and that was at the sacral level. And then the Janusza, the next one was slightly the navel. This is slightly higher up. And then come back to the centre. I'm not going to suggest we do both because that's very onerous on the lower back. But if you hug your right knee into your chest and sit up straight, your tummy should engage to support this movement, and that is engaging your core. And then release that hold and release the right leg to the floor. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Find where you've got your gap that works for you. If I have it too much, that's too big for me, but just hugging in, and then hold the left knee with the right hand, left hand behind, breathing in, extend your right heel, sit up, and breathing out, turn slightly to the left. And the same principle applies. The head is the last to go, and don't try with the head. The head just naturally follows, and you'll get a much more natural turn. Just in and out. And then coming back to the centre, hug the left knee into the chest. And then just very gently stretch the left leg along the floor and slide your hands this time just to the shins. A slight forward bend. If you want to have a sense of engagement here, lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head, tummy in, and then just slightly come forward. And then soften the knees, bend them in, and we're going to come to roll up to standing very briefly. Tucking the toes and rolling up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And when we're up standing, lift the toes and then replace the toes, that you might stretch your feet out a little bit more so that you're connecting to your feet better, I suppose, to the earth. Just slightly come forwards and backwards. We're establishing the centre of our feet. Slightly come from side to side. Lift and roll the shoulders and turn the head from the left through the centre to the right and come to the centre. And then turn to, we're going to do a warrior. Step the left foot forward. The right foot is out slightly at a 45 degree. Hands on the waist. So any of the warriors, the Virabhadrasanas, is classified as a back bend, and it's uplifting for the mood because you're lifting your chest. Soften the left knee and drop the weight centrally. So if you want to readjust your feet, that will depend on how tall you are. I'm quite tall, so I might need to put my foot back a little bit more. And then we come to Cactus Arms. That's opening at the chest here, the lung area, upper lymphatic. And then optionally raise your hands up, either looking ahead, or if you feel that you're able to lift your chin slightly, then look up, by all means do. And then breathing out, lower the hands back down alongside you. And step your front foot back to your So your feet back together and just slightly sway from side to side. And then come to the centre and step your right foot forward, left foot out at a 45-degree level. Doesn't matter whichever side you didn't do. Hands on the waist, it's easy to do. Adjust your feet so that you're softening your front right knee. Lift your chest, and as you lift your chest, you should feel space being created between the chest bone, the sternum lifting, all the way down through your abdominal organs. So you're getting optimal potential for blood to reach the organs. Come to hands and cactus arms. So again, you're opening here at the lungs, the shoulder level. And then optionally to raise your arms, looking either straight ahead or looking up. Again, your choice. And then lower your hands, step back, and this time just lift your feet and walk. It's a vibration. So again, this is terribly distracting for the mind. It becomes a mindfulness exercise. The vibration goes right the way to the head. So it's movement. It's if you could get older people doing this, it would be so brilliant. I mean, they'd move all over. I don't think your dad would stand up with you.
You could try right flying sound straight.
Can't see. Oh,
I need to try and sound straight.
oh, it's a shame, isn't
You
it?
have to hold it.
Yes,
Then you might be able to
stand
stand
straight.
Yeah.
Because it keeps their circulation going.
Yes.
And then just slow down,
Try it.
and then just have your bolster handy, because we're going to come into, this is very Tibetan, to have legs in the air. So you might want to watch me or not watch me first. So I'm literally supporting my pelvis, if that's the right part of me, is it, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Pelvis underneath. Hands, palms down, and then one leg, the other leg. And then it's a very much softer shoulder stand kind of half lift. The weight, just be comfortable.
So,
The thought of this pose is it's putting pressure on where the bra strap is,
just sit on.
and therefore it's opening at the back of the heart. It's a very much softer, it's very much softer because full shoulder stand can be straining in all kinds of ways, whereas this is a Tibetan version which is softer. Your feet can stay static, or you can just circle your feet in one direction. You're like water circling down a plug hole, that kind of circle again. It's an inversion. It's taking the weight off your feet. An inversion is supposed to be rebalancing the endocrine system. And it's not a dissimilar pose if you had your legs up the wall, except that here you're putting pressure, supposedly on the heart behind the back. And just let everything settle. You can try adjusting the legs, and sometimes it's quite nice to cross your ankles as well, and then cross the other ankle. Sometimes nice to open your feet in a V, mindful of your neighbours, extending your heels. That's also quite nice, your inner goddess pose. We'll just come back to the classic. And then very gently bend the knees into the chest. And then place both feet on the floor so that you're almost in a sort of like a a lifted bridge. Your pelvis is supported on the ground, but your feet are on the floor, your knees are up to the ceiling, your hip width apart. And this is quite nice to just, your hands can be resting on the abdomen or palms down alongside you. You're just opening out your chest up to the ceiling. It's almost like a supported bridge. So we move slightly away from the heart here and just nudge to the throat chakra. You're opening your heart because there's a stretch across the chest. So and very gently press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom slightly to take your hands to just remove the bolster, and then very gently place your bottom back down onto the ground and hug the knees into the chest once more. Just rocking either from side to side or hugging the knees into the chest and let the knees drift away to arm's length. Just a recovery. And then we're going to very gently bring the feet to the ground and roll. We'll need the bolsters again, roll to the side. We're going to come up to kneeling. So if you need a blanket for your knees. And with the bolster, we're going to come to a supported child's pose. So knees are apart, feet together, and just have your head resting on the bolster. You'll lengthen your back. If that's uncomfortable, then just come with your, Knees apart is sometimes easier, big toes together, but however works for you. And again, in this supported child, your head's slightly higher than it is normally. Your back is parallel to the ground, so for the heart, it's more restful. The heart to be parallel to the ground, but the heart hasn't got so much pumping, or you're not rushing blood into the head. And you won't think of this particularly, I don't, but you're connecting to the ajna, the forehead part, the third eye. So you're stimulating the third eye. If your knees are dodgy and you want to lift your bottom up slightly, that's fine too, just adjust the bolster. You can stay like this. You're stretching out the lower back. Back of the neck is long. If you want to come to do a nod to a headstand, you can kneel up slightly higher or just rest the crown of the head on the bolster. But this is optional. It's just putting a slight stimulation on the crown of the head, but very softly, where there's no weight, there's no pressure on the neck. For an in and an out breath, that is optional. And then very, very gently come back to a couple of breaths once more in your child's pose. And then very, very gently, please press your hands down to the ground, lengthen your spine and come up, sliding your hands back to a seated position. If you want to sit on your bolster, your seated position, you're welcome to do so. I quite like to sit, but it doesn't suit everybody, and it very much depends on the position of your hips. So I like to sit like that, but as I said, Otherwise, just sit normally, and you don't have to use the bolster at all. So just lifting and rolling the shoulders back. And once more, connect to the heart. Have a moment, or take a moment to have a wish for the day. It can be for yourself or for anyone close to you. Mentally let that thought happen a couple more times. And then let the thought go. And then have a colour. Any colour that floats to your mind today. And just imagine yourself like an auric egg, or not a candy floss, wrapping yourself inside and out with your colour of the day, conferring protection and that only positive things can come in, nothing negative. Just wrapping and cocooning yourself the day in your little bubble to go through for the rest of the day. And then just very gently bring your chin to your chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Taking a bow now for yourself. Drop your hands.